and welcome to a special educational episode of Canada's Worst Driver. In this bonus show, we're going to be counting down the 101 biggest problems on Canadian roads. Coming in at number 101... it's when two vehicles try to occupy the same space. We're counting down the top 101 problems on Canadian roads. And along the way, we'll share with you some life-saving driving tips, like our all-time favorite. Look where you want to go.
As soon as I looked, I was like, look where I'm going. And then it worked.
To teach you some of what works and more of what doesn't, the experts in this instructional video are Canada's worst drivers.
That did not go good.
When it comes to not having good grip, accurate steering, or intelligent foresight,
I need a tow truck.
our expert is Shelby.
I drive like a grandpa.
Next is our professor of driving philosophy, Marnie from Calgary.
Is this the right way?
Like all great philosophers, Marnie knows the most perplexing questions,
Okay, where does this go?
but has none of the answers.
Okay, am I straight or turning? Can I get over? Can I go? Okay, now do I do a right or a left so I know what lane I need to be in, please,
Do
now?
a left turn.
Then there's our expert on bad nerves, Denise.
I just puked. I just swallow it. Gross.
Denise is an authority on how anxiety can lead to tears,
I can't.
confusion,
I can't.
and ultimately disaster. Our next candidate, Billie Jean, is a Victorian hairdresser with some modern problems. Then there's our road rage specialist, Ed.
I've always wanted to have gun turrets on top of my roof.
What, to shoot people?
No, just to clear my path.
When Ed drives with his ex-girlfriend Elizabeth, who, by the way, is an expert bad passenger, Ed's temper really pushes the boundaries.
He doesn't get out and pound people, but he rages within the vehicle. Oh, Ed!
Our next expert knows the dark side of the law. Thomas from Alberta was an unrepentant street racer.
Just both hammer on the gas. It's like the best adrenaline rush.
Fastest you've ever gone?
240, somewhere in there.
As a former street racer, Thomas knows what's on the line firsthand.
My friends died, family have died. You know, it's a thing that's gonna happen, so might as well live life to the fullest. If something happens. Like, there's no way of getting around it. We're all gonna die, right?
Then there's our perfectionist when it comes to irresponsibility, Jennifer.
I always drive away after I hit cars.
Jennifer was a hit-and-run artist beyond compare.
When I hit the car that was at my old building, and I drove off and I totally parked somewhere else, and I shook for like a good half hour. I couldn't believe I got away with it.
In the last year, Jennifer had committed 8 hit and runs. Then we made her face the music.
I hit your car. I would pay for any damages.
What made you take so long to come clean?
I had to really go through this whole thing on the show and really learn to be accountable for my actions and to take the responsibility for it. It was hard to do.
Well, when you find doing what's right hard to do, you got a problem.
Then there's the grand master of all bad motoring, Jason from Vancouver. He's Canada's worst driver. Before this travel consultant came to rehab, his husband knew he was talentless.
That's one way of stopping.
But Jason was deluded by the fact that he held a perfect driving record.
I never had accident. I never got a ticket. I can't be the worst driver.
We have no idea how Jason managed to avoid getting in an accident. But we do know how he avoided getting tickets.
So when the cop up there, I'm like, look, a little bit panic. When they talk to me, I would say, sorry, English, no. So we always get away.
But after 24 driving challenges...
Whoa!
You know what, Jason? This is over.
Okay.
And a dozen hours of private lessons...
Lift the throttle. Lift the throttle.
Oh, sorry.
Jason was definitely the worst driver in rehab.
Damn it. I can't turn that turner.
When the candidates for Canada's worst driver were whittled down to the final 3, they each took a public drive with me.
Oh, dear.
And Jason was the worst.
Okay, now you're on Highway 400, one of the deadliest highways in the country, and you're stopped. This is no way to drive, man.
When you stop in the highway, you stop the traffic and some people rear-ended you. It's your call. You're the worst driver.
When Jason got me back from the highway...
Quite honest, my leg is shaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Jason realized it was time to get out of the driver's seat.
That ended my driving career.
Really?
Yeah.
You're never gonna drive again?
No. It's not for me. I'm just happy to take the bus. Sometimes you have to accept the reality. You can't drive, you can't drive. I can't drive. I'm going to stop driving, take the bus.
Since filming the show 4 months ago, Jason has indeed quit driving.
Ouch!
Luckily, Jason's 691 rehab collisions were all caught on tape, and he has graciously allowed us to show them to you, in the hopes of preventing anyone else from repeating the same errors.
Sorry.
Random Canadian driving problem number 100 is too many Canadians are taught to drive by bad instructors.
My instructors, well, they just took the cash and just wanted to rush me straight through.
I first learned to drive with a friend of mine who didn't speak English very well. So he would just come with me and just yes or no or not good, yes, good. And I eventually became good enough to get my license.
Jennifer picked out a bargain driving instructor instead of a reputable one.
Never go for the cheapest driving school.
Really?
The next problem on Canadian roads involves mirrors. People just don't know how to use them properly.
I just don't use my rear view mirror when I'm driving because it's usually pointed at me.
That's a big bus, isn't it?
Where the bus?
Nothing. They're just passing us.
Where's the bus?
Well, that one there, that's a big yellow thing.
If you're unaware of what's behind you, you could back into a car that's downhill from you. You won't know when it's safe to change lanes.
There's a car right there, see?
And your chances of being rear-ended go through the roof.
You're on the street. Stop. You can't do that.
Sorry.
Our experts have wildly different opinions on how often, while driving forward, you should check your mirrors to see what's behind you.
I check very often, almost every, I would say, 5 minutes.
I wouldn't normally check my mirror.
Once every 3 or 4 seconds.
I don't really check them very often.
According to Young Drivers of Canada, while driving forwards, you should check your mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Really?
When driving backwards, you should check what's behind you almost constantly.
Where are you going? Are you looking where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh my God.
Before attempting to drive any new vehicle, you should always adjust the mirror, or your problem might be this. Oh, I smashed the mirror. That's 7 years of bad luck. Take that. There's 14. Oh, 21. If you're gonna hit something, move it out of the way. Like, it can take some force,
Right.
but it can't take a solid smack.
You know what? I don't need this mirror for now.
Lucky thing, because you don't have it. Jennifer expertly demonstrated how mirror crashes can happen in a garage,
Mirror.
in a drive-through,
Hi.
and on our styrofoam blocks. I'm just wondering, do you want this mirror adjusted? Is this good here? Where's good spot for it? Here?
I don't think I can really use it anymore.
Watch where you're going.
Not using mirrors leads to problems with parking.
That's good enough.
In Calgary, you must park 1.5 feet from the curb.
3.5.
She keeps thinking that's 8 inches.
Aren't you fortunate?
Here's a driving tip. If you can't park very well, don't do it around other cars.
I have parked somewhere before and walked about 25 minutes to my destination just so that I didn't have to parallel park.
When I go to park, I don't find a cheap place because the cheap place is always full. I find an expensive place is empty.
The next problem on Canadian roads are those drivers that magically appear in no parking spaces. You don't park at home, do you?
No.
Another parking problem is backseat drivers
Hard.
who make it hard to concentrate.
Hard.
Here's a tip. If you want good advice while trying to park, get your passenger outside the vehicle.
Go out. Go out direct me.
All right.
Go out direct.
Okay.
Every day in British Columbia, over 1,000 people sit for their practical driver's license test. Some of them pass legitimately, but some of them get through it just because they show up in something low cut. How do you people get your license without learning how to parallel park? How is it possible? You flirt? What? Yes. Billy flirted with her driver's license examiner and got a free pass.
He basically didn't really grade me. He just sort of let me get my license.
He was hoping for a date, I guess.
Maybe. Didn't work.
After the break, we'll look at more of the tight spots Canadians get themselves into.
I got the vehicle stuck.
We're counting down the 101 biggest problems on Canadian roads in no particular order. Next on our list, it's the people who have accidents at about 1 kilometer an hour and just keep on having them. Whoops.
But you're scratching the side of the car. That's not a problem?
90% of Canadians wear their seatbelts, which is a pretty good thing, you know, because 84% of us admit to aggressive and speedy driving. Speed. It's the next problem on Canadian roads.
I hate this. Because you can feel a car going. I hate this.
You go 80 in a 40 zone.
I have honestly exceeded the speed limit at times, but I do it under conditions which I think are safe enough to do that.
Traveling at 40 kilometers an hour in perfectly safe conditions, Ed wasn't safe. But Ed was safer than his passenger. Oh! In fact, all of our drivers were safer than their passengers.
Oh my God.
Problem number 84 on Canadian roads is that drivers protect themselves while hitting on the passenger side.
We better stop. There's something wrong. There's something really wrong.
Did I hit someone?
Here's a tip for passengers. You might want to check which sign your driver was born under. According to a study done by a Stanford University professor, your astrological sign actually has a huge impact on your probability of causing a car crash. Some egghead over there crunched all of the North American numbers and realized that Leos are the safest drivers on the road. And the most dangerous drivers are, well, they're a little unbalanced. They're Libras. Guess who's a Libra?
Step on the gas.
Thomas is a Libra, and he's also something far more dangerous. He's young and male. In BC, the young lads cause 74% of all the injuries caused by speeding.
We're all gonna die.
Thomas's adherence to the live fast, die young motto hardly makes him unique, but it does make him a problem.
I'm not worried about losing too much.
The next problem on Canadian roads are those self-righteous drivers who feel like they're above the law.
Ed, you're driving in the bus lane.
That's okay. I love the bus lane. The existing guidelines and policies and the use of that bus lane there are not exactly, I guess, conducive to the way that I like to drive.
He says a guideline. It's not a guideline, it's the law. He breaks it every day.
Yeah.
Safety laws also exist to prevent people from doing U-turns on highways.
I don't know if you're allowed to do U-turns here.
Whatever.
Laws also exist to prevent aggressive driving.
Oh, I'm not waiting for all these idiots. Get out of the way. I said hurry up. Guys, slow as
Why? He's going the speed limit.
Yeah, so.
And it's obviously illegal to do stunts in public.
I pulled the e-brake around the corner and did a 180.
Young people hold 5% of this country's driver's licenses, but they constitute 10% of the driving deaths. Next on our list of national road problems, misguided parents.
Well, I wouldn't be a very good mom if I figured that my son was bad, right? And he is my baby, so in my books, he really doesn't do too much wrong.
Oh, he's got 3 or 4 cars that he's went through. A couple of cars, a couple or 3 pickups.
Thomas's parents pay for those vehicles and a whole lot more.
My dad pays half my insurance.
He pays for the gas.
He pays for the fuel. He pays for the fuel that I use.
He paid for new tires. Dad's had to pay like $50,000 to fix your...
I have had 12 accidents in 12 months.
Billie Jean's insurance must cost a fortune.
Oh my God, what are you...
But she wouldn't know it because...
My dad paid my insurance for the last 2 years.
Immature people not paying their own insurance is bad. Parents condoning street racing is worse.
He's generally pretty good at it, as far as I can see.
Street racing itself is problem number 81 on Canadian roads. On his crusade to stop street racing, Sergeant Cam Woolley explained to Thomas what would happen if he ever got caught racing on the streets of Ontario.
If the police see you driving dangerously by racing, the maximum penalty is 5 years in jail. If you crash and somebody's hurt, it's 14 years. If you crash and somebody is killed, it could be life. If you use an automobile to commit dangerous driving, it is subject to forfeiture to the Crown, and this isn't an idle threat. This is happening more and more in Canada, especially with street racing.
Well, actually, I didn't know that you could lose your vehicle or get 5 years in jail.
Ignorance! It's just one more problem on the street.
I did not know that. I had no idea that a vehicle would do that. None.
If it's over $1,000 damage, you must report it to the police.
Oh.
Every year, about 50 people are seriously injured when the vehicle they're in gets hit by an oncoming train. Stopping on railway tracks is our next problem.
I wouldn't stop on the train tracks. That would be a bad idea. Stopping here would be... No! Where are you going?
Also on a quick list of things you should never do, don't take your hands off the wheel. Don't tailgate while looking the other way.
Oh my... Okay, that actually, kind of hurt my elbow.
And don't drift into other people's lanes.
I'm not even driving in my lane.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not a weaver in and out of lanes.
Well, you are. You just haven't been penalized for that.
Hey, you know we're counting down the list of 101 biggest problems on Canadian roads. And the next thing on our list, well, it's poor braking. I've seen a lot of it.
Braking. No.
Step on the gas.
You
stepped on the gas?
You stepped on the gas? You stood on the brake.
No, I stepped on the gas.
You stepped on the gas?
Yeah.
Brake!
We've seen too many bad drivers rely on their passengers
Brake now!
to tell them when to brake.
Brake!
Brake. You also have to tell me brake. If you think I'm going to hit anything or go out of control, yell brake. And I need you to say it loud.
When you do brake, be sure you don't do it with both feet. Emergency brakes prevent problems.
The heck?
Put it down.
Yeah, but not if you have them on when you don't intend to.
Am I going?
I can't reverse for some reason.
Having the passenger control the brake for you, not a good idea.
I'll drop the brake.
On 1, 2, 3, go.
When we come back, we'll run into dozens more problems on Canadian roads. What? Hi, and welcome back to our educational special, 101 Problems on Canadian Roads. Taught to you by Canada's worst drivers. Next on our random list is people who just don't have respect for other vehicles.
I hate buses. I hate buses.
I hate bicycles.
I hate bikers.
3.5% of people who are injured by cars are bikers.
I have hit 6 to 10 people on bikes.
Bicycle. She's on the road. Will she stop at a red light? No.
Rage is the next Canadian road problem.
Oh, you stupid.
If Ed doesn't get his way on the road,
Look at this. Stupid.
He hunts down the drivers that annoy him.
Did you not see me trying to get in the lane here?
When Ed gets in so far he causes damage, he tries to minimize it.
I am not trying to minimize, okay? Just let me qualify that. I'm not trying to minimize, but I nudged it.
Sometimes Ed intentionally does a whole lot more than just nudging.
Okay, I'll be quick and I'll hit everything that's there.
Like one time when Ed got so wound up, he said,
It slammed on the accelerator and literally smashed right into the completely stopped vehicle right in front of us.
When road ragers aren't hitting, they're intimidating.
Like that, so that the person could see.
When bad drivers receive aggression,
They give the finger.
those bad drivers can get so nervous,
I get the finger at me sometimes.
they can freeze up completely.
I'm sorry. Beeped that and he just looked at me and said, See, this is what I don't like right here.
If you're already asking, hey, what's the next driving problem? You're like the next driving problem. It's drivers who ask too many questions.
Are you sure this is the right way? I can't just stop until you make a decision. Can I go?
You can't see it.
Well, you have to look.
Well, you're driving.
Okay, what's happening? What's coming up here? Can you please tell me? What's the speed limit?
What's the speed limit?
What's the speed limit?
Now where am I going?
What was that in there?
Okay, where do I go?
And where we go?
Jason's going wherever Adrian points his wheel.
No.
That's a problem.
Straighten your wheels. Straighten.
While in rehab, Adrian turned his husband's wheel literally hundreds of times.
I'm just so used to being behind the wheel. I know where the wheel is. I know where the rest of the car is. So to me, it makes perfect sense.
Sometimes I would rather prefer Adrian not sitting there. Don't tell me do things.
When Adrian wasn't grabbing the wheel,
Yes, we want to drive down there,
Let
sir.
me do it.
Okay.
he was making suggestions
Yeah.
Don't distract me.
at a ridiculous volume.
There you go.
Okay, I do myself.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you turn your wheel?
Don't help me anymore. I don't need it anymore.
All right.
Drivers being distracted by an emotional passenger is a big problem.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me.
A bigger problem is not knowing left from right.
I would say stay on the left. You drive this or there's an island or something out there, you stay on the left. Old Boundary Road.
Sure. So we turn right on Old Boundary Road. Very good. Oh, no, the other right. He cannot tell left from right.
When I look this way, which way is the left? Which way is the right? Left, right. Confusing.
Some drivers can't even understand what direction straight is.
Do I go straight? Can I go straight? Am I in the right lane?
Well, you can't go straight.
Well, I had to.
Just a little bit less than 90% of all of the accidents that occur on Canadian roads are the result of human error. Specifically, it's the fault of the driver. One reason for that problem is that drivers just don't understand basic road rules.
It says an always stop.
So now at a four-way stop, who has the right of way?
The guy to the left.
That's wrong. When two cars arrive simultaneously at an intersection, the car on the right always has the right of way.
Now, should I go or should I let that man?
If Marnie goes at the wrong time, she could find out why 30% of personal injury crashes occur.
I can go now, right?
In intersections.
See that sign over there? What does that say?
Oh, no right turn.
The next source of problems are green lights.
Can I go?
You can go, you got the green light.
Don't slow down for a green light.
Okay.
And stopping altogether is even worse.
Now you're standing still at a green light. I thought I'm gonna turn.
There's only one thing worse than stopping at a green.
You're going backwards when there's a green light in front of you.
Yeah.
After the break, we'll look at an entire section on reversing.
Are you looking where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Hi, and welcome back to our educational driving special, 101 Problems on Canadian Roads, as taught to you by Canada's worst drivers. So, our next problem on Canadian roads is a backwards belief that many drivers have. Specifically, they think that when they're reversing, the front of their vehicle no longer exists. This is classic bad driving. When they're reversing this way, they don't realize that the front of the car swings. Ah, shoot. That means they'll drag their bumpers along barriers.
Oh, my God.
They'll turn directly into innocent obstacles. They'll scrape chrome. And they'll nearly sideswipe TV hosts.
Jason.
If you could get a job losing track of your front end,
Flip.
Shelby could turn professional immediately. Just because you're backing up doesn't mean that your front end no longer exists, Shelby. Your front end exists.
My front end exists.
Canada's worst drivers know their back end exists, but they don't know where. Some of our students are having serious issues with depth perception. They have no idea where the obstacles behind them are. But they always find out eventually. Whoa. Whoops. Oh my God. He just knocked over the slow sign. To find out the exact location of some obstacles, Jason backs up until he feels contact. To be a good driver, you have to have good vision, and specifically peripheral vision. One test to see if you have that is to stare straight over the wheel. You should still be able to see the person in the passenger seat. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I see him. If I were Jason, though, I wouldn't be able to see you.
You see me now?
No.
You don't see me now?
No.
Okay. Yeah, definitely have problem with your vision. You don't see that one there, the first one there?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay, that's a big problem.
Ed also has poor peripheral vision.
In the last two times,
I'm not seeing the blocks
you're
go
not
down.
seeing the
That's what-
blocks
that's
go
right.
down. I know. I think it's your peripheral vision. Left. He's not seeing the things being blown away.
The next problem on Canadian roads are drivers who will stare at an obstacle, then drive into it. It's what experts call target fixation. Shelby demonstrates target fixation by staring at the second obstacle in this slalom.
Ah, shoot. Call 911, someone.
He has that target fixation again. He's staring at objects. He's not staring into a space.
Jennifer looks at obstacles. And Jason also looks at obstacles. Damn it. When we talked to Jason about his target fixation,
You have target fixation problem for sure.
he said he understood. But it turned out he didn't.
I thought it's just, if you drive a distance, you find the target you want to go, and,
Nod your head yes if you agree with the following statement. When you're in driving school, understanding the teacher is critical.
We don't need the pump, right?
Jason agrees, but Jason agrees with everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
During his time in rehab, Jason would consistently bob his head and tell the instructors he understands them.
Yeah.
But in the end, we learned that one reason Jason is such a bad driver is because he didn't understand much of what was being said to him.
Floor it. Not the brake. The throttle. If you want to create the rear wheel skid and a donut, you need to break the rear wheel loose.
Okay.
After weeks of being told to accelerate,
Accelerate. Go, go, go. Accelerate. 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 Accelerate.
we finally learned why Jason wasn't accelerating.
I don't even understand what acceleration rate is.
When we tell you that you should accelerate, you don't know what we mean?
Well, sometime I kind of guess.
If you hit things, then keep going, you suffer from our next driving problem.
It sounds almost like a hit-and-run kind of mentality, too. You said the first instinct you have after hitting is going faster.
Yeah. I always drive away after I hit cars. I felt very bad, but I didn't want my insurance to go up, so I didn't bother telling them.
Hit-and-run drivers, they often don't care about the quality of their own vehicle. The problem is, they expect you to have the same leniency when it comes to the scrapes and hits and dings and damage they cause to your vehicle. You gotta be kidding me.
I would do it to my own, so there's the difference.
The difference between responsible drivers and bad drivers is bad drivers believe in luck.
I think I am a fairly good driver. Good driver with some bad luck.
I think
But
what you
that's,
call bad luck, I call denial.
Some bad drivers experience so much denial, they don't even realize when they've hit something.
I thought I didn't hit it.
You're kidding.
No.
You didn't hear the big crunch?
Damn.
Drivers in denial have no idea what they're putting their passengers through.
I don't even notice.
Did I hit someone?
Do I see someone there?
It's just a picture.
Oh.
I don't like this. I don't like this road.
If you get so tense behind the wheel, you lose control of your body.
I'm gonna throw up.
You shouldn't be driving.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Are you okay? My leg just shaky. My eyebrow like this now.
Ooh, oh my God. I'm gonna puke on you, man.
You actually gonna throw up?
I think so.
Don't do it on me.
But I still say my lunch doesn't want to be the way it is.
Oh, she's getting sick.
Crying while driving. That's a problem.
I can't do this. I don't know what else to do. Just get me out of this car. I can't do this.
You know what? I don't want to do this.
I'm not doing it now. Forget it.
You can do it.
Shut up!
When we come back, more of the top 101 problems on Canadian roads.
I'm thinking it's gonna be a tough thing to find insurance after this.
In this bonus episode of Canada's Worst Driver, we're counting down the 101 biggest problems on Canadian roads.
Oops.
If you don't know how to drive different vehicles...
I've never gone go-karting.
No?
I wasn't even allowed to use the riding lawnmower.
You'll have a problem every time you rent or borrow an unfamiliar machine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. When Shelby arrived at rehab, he couldn't drive a bicycle, but he knew he should learn.
Now for the bike ride. Teach me to ride a bike. Now I just get to learn to ride a bike. And I will ride a bike down this path. And don't forget about the bike.
Hop on, my friend. It's just like driving a car. You want to look far ahead. And your balance will keep you going.
And when I'm training new drivers, I often refer to it to riding a bicycle because the mechanics are the same. Where you look is where you go. Perception is absolutely the same.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Shelby suffered a lot of mishaps learning to ride the bike. But these crashes will help prevent mishaps that could have happened in a car.
You're my friend that knows how to ride a bike.
But not very well. This bizarre car has reduced traction on its rear wheels. It's used to teach Canadians how to drive on ice. Here's a tip.
Gas, 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 gas.
In a rear-wheel drive car, if you lose traction going around a turn,
Gas, 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 gas.
you have to give the car gas.
Gas, 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 gas.
A lot of Canadians don't know that.
Gas, 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 gas. Oh!
Which puts them on thin ice.
You chickened out. Yeah. Well, we'll fix that.
The next problem on Canadian roads
How hot did you get it?
are cars that suffer from bad upkeep. Take, for example, bald tires. They become flat tires. And if you don't notice a flat tire...
Oh. No! Stop, 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 stop. I heard something. Yeah, that would be a flat tire.
the repair bills will keep rolling in. If your car is already running, don't turn the ignition key. or you could completely kill the $400 starting motor.
Don't do that to my vehicle. Turn it on once only. No, I just said don't do that. Don't do that. It's on. What am I going to do? Drive.
Revving a standard transmission stick shift too much while trying to shift gears can also lead to serious damage.
Oh, honey.
It was in second. What did I do?
Schmoky.
I know.
Another problem drivers can cause is engine damage.
Check engine light's on. The check engine light was on all the way. I figured that was a bad thing.
More damage can be done by not keeping the engine fluids topped up.
I didn't even know that I had all those fluids in my car.
Or worse, putting fluids in the wrong places.
Transmission, where the hell is the transmission? This looks like a transmission, it's pretty.
If you do it wrong, there's a pretty good chance you'll kill your car altogether. Fighting! It's the next problem.
Don't eyeball me up and down.
I'm not eyeballing you.
Arguing about driving every single day of our lives.
Every day, you guys, hey? That's true, hey? That every day you guys argue about driving.
Every day.
Like, why are you going slow now? This is what I don't understand.
Because I'm getting off on the exit back up here soon.
What exit?
Oh my God, Elizabeth.
All the tires are going to pop.
You can't blame Elizabeth for Ed's conduct behind the wheel.
You know, at this point in time, I actually would encourage you just plow through it. Ugh.
But she is a negative influence.
Jesus.
Okay.
Billy is beating you.
By sharing the steering responsibilities, passengers may feel like they're helping things move along. But in fact, they're creating a big problem. And if they're caught, they could receive a $95 ticket. When we come back, it's the biggest problems on Canadian roads.
Do you want me to steer for you while you get changed?
We're counting down the 101 biggest problems on Canadian roads. To start this next category, it's one that'll make you crazy. People who don't stop at stop signs.
I don't always come to a complete stop at a stop sign.
So you have to go across this busy highway. Jason, stop. Jason, stop! Thank you.
Why do we stop here?
Because it's a stop sign, there's lots of crossers.
Stop sign out there, the far away.
There's another one's far away, but this one's real close.
Jason stares dead ahead.
Okay, you just rolled right through a stop sign.
That makes him completely miss stop signs.
Did you figure we should have stopped at that stop sign? Or?
Oh, where's the stop sign?
The one that we just rolled through.
Where? How you see the sign?
And stopping, then going without looking doesn't work either.
You know, at a stop sign, you want to stop until there's no traffic coming, eh?
Yeah.
When people are hurt at intersections with lights, 29% of the injuries are caused by drivers running reds.
The flashing yellow.
And running reds causes 42% of intersection fatalities.
I just turned on a red light, didn't I? Did I just turn on a red light?
We have no footage of the next multitasking no-no, but it could result in a very embarrassing crash.
I've had sex in the front seat while I was driving, yeah.
A recent survey by the Canada Safety Council showed that 87% of drivers are frustrated by seeing other drivers behind the wheel multitasking.
I can change the music while I'm eating, while I'm driving, while I'm putting on makeup and texting. Like, I can do it all.
Surprisingly, almost all those same people surveyed say they themselves multitask while driving. The next problem on Canadian roads? Cell phones.
I have to turn. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I have to turn.
Only Newfoundland and Labrador has taken the safety step of banning handheld cell phones by drivers.
What are you doing? Here, give me the bottle. Give me the bottle. All right?
According to a study done by the University of Montreal, drivers talking on cell phones are 38% more likely to get in an accident.
Hi.
Cars shouldn't be used as answering machines or change rooms.
Oh my God. Nikki, this can be done, okay? Oh my God. Do you have something you want to say to me? Yeah, you're an idiot.
In Ontario, 1 out of every 18 crashes involves a wild animal.
The weirdest incident was that running over the dead deer.
And the kids were in the car then, too, with you.
That's not multitasking, but letting a Chihuahua drive is.
Taco, my dog, likes to sit on my lap while I'm driving. And sometimes he even puts his paws up on the steering wheel.
Oh, she loves to drive with me, yes. She's a puppy. She doesn't know any better.
Needless to say, Billie Jean's makeup habit is also a problem.
I love your face that you make. It's so pretty.
And of course, smoking occupies the eyes, hands, and mind. While driving down memory lane, we've listed the top 100 problems on Canadian roads. For the final issue, we've chosen something that could really be the cause of every collision that's ever happened on Earth. The #1 problem on Canadian roads is drivers not paying attention.
You hit that right now.
No, I didn't.
What's the...
Oh, my God!
Whoop.
Ah, I just stuck my finger in.
Well, that's it for another season of Canada's Worst Driver. Until next time, please, be safe out there. There's a lot of bad drivers on Canadian roads.